We created the Truth, Hope, and Justice Initiative to support and mobilize mothers across the country who've lost loved ones to unjustified police violence in America. Our mothers represent first responders and influencers and the women of faith in our communities. Our vision is to highlight the authentic stories of our mothers and how they have turned their pain into real purpose. Our mothers today are igniting the call to action for social justice and racial equality in America. We want to advocate for the Justice in Policing Act. We want to work with our mothers and reimagine a world in which we have fair and equitable laws and the ability to build trusted relationships between our communities of color and law enforcement. It's important we honor the life and legacy of lives lost to unjustified police brutality and violence. When you think about what's happening in America, you think about Laquan McDonald, Tamir Rice, Sandra Bland, Walter Scott, Stephen Clark, Andy Finch, Freddie Gray, Rashad McIntosh, Pierre Lorre, Justice Howell, Jose Nieves, Philando Castile. In recent months, the world has watched George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. The list goes on and on. Many lives have been taken unjustifiably by the police. What you are about to witness are the compelling stories and the human truths of mothers and a curation of dynamic and inspirational tributes from Macy Gray, Andra Day, Walt Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago, Bishop Simon Gordon, Father Michael Flager, WNBA player Sidney Colson, and our mothers. Our mission critical at this historic moment is to advance productive, real-time solutions together, united as one. We have partnered with civil rights leaders, we have partnered with community organizations and families and law enforcement to work together nationwide, and our collaboration is committed to putting an end to unjustified police brutality in America. So we invite you to join us, walk with us, rise up and stand with us, together, united. Now I turn it over to my friend, Macy Gray.
My Good was founded July 2020. We organized to support the families who've lost loved ones due to police violence. And we're here to make change. We're here to help families get justice, to help them rebuild, get back on their feet. We do a lot with help with funeral costs, medical, mental health services, whatever they need in the aftermath of this tragedy. And we're new, but we're here to do as much as we can. We want to help make a difference and support. And we've partnered up with Truth, Hope, and Justice because their expertise is social justice. And I feel like together we can make a difference. Tonight is going to be an incredible night. We're going to have live performances, special guest speakers. We're all here to honor the mothers who have lost their sons and daughters due to police violence. This is a cause that's close to me and my organization, mygood.org. We have teamed up with Truth, Hope, and Justice, who's putting on this event to fight for justice for the families and for the victims. So now let's hear from the mothers themselves.
I left for work that day with the expectations of giving my daughter a party. And instead I had to come home and start planning her funeral.
I just began to scream, Cordell, if you can hear me, get up. He never got up.
To this day, I can still hear her telling me that my son is dead.
They literally pulled Gary and drug him to the side of the road as if my baby was roadkill.
He got shot 3 times in the chest.
I wanted to see him just to hug and kiss him, tell him that I love him.
He shot my son as he sat in the driver's seat 14 times. He never made it out the car.
I was told that Derek died instantly of a broken neck. Derek didn't die instantly, and he didn't die of a broken neck. He died from lack of attention from a punctured lung.
The officer shot him in the back, and that bullet hit the vein in his neck and exited through his eye socket, causing him his life.
He was trying to climb a fence, to get away, and the police shot him in the back.
Kimani was my only child, and I watched him die in my arms. It took everything in me to just breathe. I didn't understand. Every day I am reminded when I look in the mirror that my son is not here. It's just a lot of days without him. I feel lost.
That was my everything. And to lose him, it crushed me.
We was just a close-knit family. And, by Angelo's gone, it's like, ain't nothing right.
That was my first child, my firstborn child,
You think of your children burying you. You don't think of you burying your children.
She was a strong advocate for the underdog.
He didn't want to party and hang out. He wanted to be married.
He was very quiet. He had this very kind of reserved, old man spirit about him.
He worked a part-time job at a local nursing home.
You could be nobody, and Cordell would show you that he cared.
She was such a beautiful, intelligent young lady.
He glowed with love. That's how big his heart was.
The last thing I told her was that I loved her. And I got to hear her say she loved me too.
The only thing you have left is to fight.
So when you see the rage and you see the fury, and I'm out there on the front line at every single march, that's what's instilled in me from justice.
My fight continues not only for Gary, because it's bigger than Gary. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us.
Speak up for your child. Step out for your child. You let everyone know, nationally, internationally, you're not taking it sitting down.
I'm not one to believe that all policemen are bad policemen. I just don't believe in that.
It's not the officers, it's the system.
How can we work with law enforcement? How could we ask you to stop killing our kids?
It just doesn't always have to end up where some mother is, grieving for her child.
I could never tell a mother that it's gonna get better, because it's not gonna get better. It get worse.
This is a pain that I would never wish on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish on anybody to have their child taken from them.
It's forever. It is forever.
How could we not stand up and fight for our children?
You watch as people normalize it and they say it's okay, it's not okay. And so I want every parent to know, no, this is no time to shut up. You speak out for your baby.
I will fight for my child with my last breath.
There's no peace or rest for anybody anymore.
The NBA family has been supportive of social justice and racial equality, and now we have the chaplain of the Mothers Association of the NBA, Cherry Powell.
Oh, Father God, even though we have heavy, heavy hearts right now, we're asking for blessings for these mothers, dear God, that have lost their precious child. These moms are having a difficult time, dear God. They're having a difficult time believing and knowing that things are going to be okay. So we're asking that you just come in right now, dear God, and give them some help in just knowing that you are there and that you will always be there for them. So we're giving it to you right now, dear God. We thank you. We love you. Amen.
Now we're going to hear from Dr. Walter Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago.
Everybody put your hands together like this. Come on, put your hands together like this. We, the Soul Children of Chicago, come to celebrate with you life, love, and a pursuit of happiness. So with one sound and with one voice, we come to let everybody know, no matter what the problem may be, I'm gonna lift him up. Said I got victory. I got the victory, for he is my king. He's the reason. He's the reason that I see. Let me hear you say it again. No matter what the problem may be, I'm gonna lift him up for the whole world to see. I've got the victory. I got the victory, for he is my king. He's the reason. He's the reason that I see. He said it.
Jamel was the kind of person that could play by ear. Anywhere there was music, he would go. Played at so many churches. So he had a love for God, and he had a love for people.
I got 10 minutes to hug and kiss Jamel.
Jamel wanted to join the police force because he wanted to do better. He said, Mom, I want to make a difference. I'm going to be a good policeman. I'm going to help people. And that's what he did all the way until that last Saturday in November. I said, where you going? He said, I got to go to work tonight. So he gave me a kiss, and then he left. I heard that at this club, Manning's, that 2 guys came in shooting. My son ran out after one of the guys, and he subdued him. He had everything under control. Never thought that he would get killed by a policeman. 4 times he was shot in his back. Oof. I wouldn't want nobody to have to go through that. I just hate that he didn't get a chance to see justice because she is beautiful. Jamel Roberson, life matters.
Let's pray. Gracious God, our Father, we thank you for this wonderful opportunity to share your love, your care, your faithfulness, and your true desire for us to be in a position where we are able to continue on in life with a joy from relationships we had, with memories that we've had, as well as our opportunity to have the fullness of your love inside of us to share with those we have left. God, I ask you to heal the hearts. I ask you to blend us together and cause blessing to happen because you are the author and the finisher of our faith. Amen.
We are grateful and honored and blessed to have a collection of speakers from all walks of life. They're here to help us rise up and stand and give a tribute to our mothers. Let's hear from them.
My heart breaks for these mothers and for these families. It's incredibly disheartening to look at the state of the relationship between Black people and the police in America today and not see much change from decades past. We had a chance this WNBA season, although the circumstances that brought it about were sad ones, to establish a social justice council and dedicate our season to speaking up and speaking out against police brutality and systemic racism. Now, we partner with the African American Policy Forum and had a chance to have extensive conversations with the mothers and sisters of the Say Her Name movement. And what I took away from those conversations was that the pain and trauma from losing their loved ones hasn't subsided. These mothers and these families have continued to fight for justice long after their loved ones' names have disappeared from headlines. And what they all wanted is police reform, transparency, and accountability, amongst other things. I think the role that we can all play, no matter how big or small our platforms are, is to make sure that we speak up when things are wrong, that we demand change, that we exercise our right to vote, and that we hope that all of those things will help us to see and live in a better and more just America.
Now is the time to really show love and appreciation for these moms because they've done a lot to help move this police reform measures forward, and they've suffered a lot. And so we want to celebrate them at this time to say, hey, you know what? The community, we understand. We don't really know your pain, but we understand that pain has occurred, and you have been a stalwart in attempting to right the wrongs of law enforcement while also celebrating the lives of your children that you've had in your possession for, in some cases, a very short time. And so we want to salute them and honor them all across the country, especially when we go to D.C. We want to make sure that we wrap our arms around those moms and love them and appreciate them and thank them for all the work that they've done over the years.
These courageous black women, they share an uncommon sisterhood where all of their children were murdered by police. And their pain is excruciating. You know, some are introverts. Some say to me, Eric, every rally, every protest, I'm gonna be by your side. And some say, we just need our day in court.
Hi, I'm Byron Allen, and I wanna chat with the great mothers of this country who unfortunately have lost their children to unnecessary violence. It's unfathomable, the pain, the suffering that you're going through. We have to come together. We have to work together. We have to vote, and we have to lean in, and we have to hold people in power accountable. And we need to make sure that the people we put in power, because we voted them into power, they are protecting us and not murdering us, that they're nurturing us and not committing genocide against us. They are leading us to a better place, and they're not destroying us. The murder against our children must stop now. And we, working together, we have the power to do it. We can't save your children. We can't bring them back, but we can deliver them justice and make sure that others don't suffer what unfortunately you are suffering through right now. My thoughts, my prayers, and my support are with you 1000%. And working together, we will make it better. We will make sure there are no more mothers joining you. Now, Michelle Obama, she said it best in the 2020 Democratic Convention.
Our young people are desperately fighting to pursue their dreams. And when the horrors of systemic racism shook our country and our consciences, millions of Americans of every age, every background rose up to march for each other, crying out for justice and progress. This is who we still are. Compassionate, resilient, decent people.
And next up, we have a beautiful tribute, a bright light in the industry. Please welcome Andra Day, accompanied by Dr. Walter Whitman and the Soul Children of Chicago.
Before I start, I just wanted to take a moment to dedicate this song and this performance to all of the mothers around the country who have lost children and loved ones to police violence. Our goal is to rise up and to stand and to support social justice and support racial equality, not just here in our justice system in America, but in the world at large. I also wanted to use this opportunity to celebrate the life and the legacy of those that I always say have passed on or have turned the page. As I think of you all, I'm reminded of a quote by Ella Baker, where she says, "Until the killing of Black mother sons becomes as important to the rest of the nation as the killing of white mother sons, we who believe in freedom cannot rest." Unfortunately, we are not there yet. It's very clear in the landscape that there is a much lesser value placed on the life of a Black child than that of a white child. But I am hopeful because of you all, because of your fight, your determination, your dedication, because of you being able to rise in the face of tragedy. You are truly opening the door for us to be able to have conversations that can bring about lasting change. And so I thank you from the bottom of my heart. We all thank you. We owe you a debt of gratitude. We love you. We appreciate you. You have our support and you have our service. God bless you all.
You are broken down and tired
of living life on a merry-go-round, and you can't find a fighter, but I see it in you, so we're gonna walk it out. Move mountains, we're gonna walk it out and move mountains. And our eyes like the day, our eyes up, our eyes unafraid, our eyes up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you. The silence isn't quiet, and it feels like it's getting harder to breathe. And I know you feel like dying, but I promise we'll take the world to its feet. Move mountains, bring it to its feet, and and our eyes, oh, our eyes like the day, I will rise up, our eyes unafraid, our eyes up, and I'll do it 1,000 times again for you. That we have each other, and for that we have each other. Yeah, we will rise, we will rise, and we'll rise. I like the waves. Spite of the ache, 1,000 times again, and we'll rise up high like the waves. We will rise in spite of the ache. I'll do it again and again and again for you. Spite of the ache, we can rise and do it 1,000 times again. We can rise.
First, there needs to be an acknowledgement what community policing is. And as long as we're all functioning from the same sheet of music, we can dance. We have to acknowledge this racial reckoning that we're in. And what we're talking about, what we're really dealing with is systemic and structural racism. It starts with birth disparities, voting disparities, housing disparities, educational disparities. You can go on and on and on before you get to law enforcement disparities and outcomes. And law enforcement comes from the overall society where all of these disparities already exist. So if you want to reform policing without reforming the greater society, we're missing the mark. because we continue to get our officers from the greater society where the systemic and structural racism already exists. What I try to emphasize is borrow from the medical profession, the public health approach towards violence reduction. What we did for smoking, what we did for alcoholism is a wellness approach. We know that if you look at crime, poverty and education is not that far behind. And so if you want to impact crime, you want to have a good school system. You want to do things to eliminate impoverished conditions. You want people to be able to have access to good health care, good jobs, good housing, in those type of situations, good healthy eatings, you get rid of food deserts. All of those things create community health. And if you have a healthy community, you don't need a law enforcement-centered approach towards creating public safety, because that's law enforcement coming in making arrests is like performing surgery on a patient. It's the most expensive, most evasive thing that you do that you pretty much want to avoid. If you want to have a healthy community, good education, good prevention methods, good intervention methods. The enforcement piece is the last piece.
Any organization that's trying to move the needle of equity, I support it. There are many organizations out there that have evolved because of George Floyd, because of the protests, because of the unrest, because of what's going on in our nation about recognizing systemic issues that have not been addressed for many generations. And so I support anyone who tries to move equity. So I would say to these mothers, keep moving forward, keep talking about your stories, keep it at the forefront of what we do, make it human, make us as a community, as a nation, as a world. I think at this point we're at a world perspective. Realize that the things that are happening in our communities to our children, particularly some of our children of color, that this is unacceptable. That the deaths that are occurring are unacceptable, regardless of how they happen, regardless at whose hands they happen. We need to understand that that's someone's child, and that person can never come back. And for me as a mother, I couldn't imagine it. I can empathize only as a mother, but there's no way that I could understand the grief that these mothers are going through. And so as a mother, I say, keep your child's spirit alive and your movement alive, and continue to make us feel the emotion that we hope we never, ever have to actually feel personally.
Our next speaker is one of the foremost civil rights leaders in America. I'm honored to call him my friend, Father Michael Pfleger, St. Sabina Church.
To all the mothers who have lost your children to this horrific violence, especially those who have lost them to the hands of police, know that you are in my prayers, that I constantly ask God to comfort you and to hold you and to strengthen you, to wrap His arms around you. I know from the loss of my own son to gun violence that not only is the pain unbearable, but how it can hold you captive and sometimes seem to smother the very breath inside of us. I remember when I lost my son, 18 years old, how it paralyzed me. How I sat in a chair in my room for an entire day and could not move. I remember wrestling with God, wondering, can I go on? And telling Him that if I could, He had to give me the strength. He had to lead me. He had to help me, because I knew I couldn't do it by myself. I know the questions that invade our hearts and our minds and our souls, where we wonder, is there something else I could have done? Why did this happen? How did this happen? Is there something I could have changed? Only to realize there are no answers to those questions. There is nothing more we could have done, but we just have to turn those over to God and let Him give us that peace, that surpasses all understanding. I know that some people see you sometimes when you're speaking at a rally or speaking at a press conference, and they admire you and they tell you you're just so strong. But they don't know. They don't know the days that you struggle just to get up out of bed. They don't know the times that it's hard for you just to walk out of the house. How hard it is sometimes to just press through another day. The days that anger and pain want to just hold you captive and make you wonder if you can do this anymore. The loss of a child, in my mind, is the most visible sign of evil there is in society today. Even more so when it's the hands of someone who was sworn to protect and to serve. We live in a world that seemingly continues to cover and to protect evil. The violence that's built into the very DNA of our society, and too often the culture of our law enforcement. With laws that fail to hold people accountable, and unjust police contracts that seek to cover and to protect. We also live in a world, and we live in a day, and there are powers that seek to normalize this evil as this is just something we have to accept. This is just life in the world today, and allow it to continue to reign unchecked and unchallenged. We cannot allow it to reign. And we can never allow it to be normalized. We can never allow it to continue and think that that's something we have to tolerate, the killing of our children at the hands of law enforcement. But I charge you today. I charge you to rise up strong. I charge you to speak up and to stand up. I charge you to let your pain push you to your purpose to continue to stand up in this society and to have the determination to dismantle the systems that allows evil to reign, that allows those who take the lives of our children with badges and guns on them to think that somehow we got to accept it. Sisters and brothers, I challenge you to stand up against evil, recognizing and believing that good is more powerful than evil, that hope is more powerful than hopelessness. To remind yourselves that righteousness will reign if we don't quit, if we don't give up, if we don't roll over. I charge you to connect with each other, join arms with each other, hold on to each other, support each other, and continue to lift each other up. I challenge you to build an army of righteous indignation in the name of your children, so that together we can walk across this country and we can save the children here before us today from becoming tomorrow's victim. So we can draw the line in the sand and say to our society and to police, no more. We're not accepting it anymore. We're not tolerating it anymore. Finally, I charge you to continue to keep rooted in the God who alone can hold you. You stand today as strong as you are because He kept you when you couldn't keep yourself. It is He who can comfort you when moments rise up that want to break you down. It is He who can heal you when the pain seeks to override you and overtake you. It is He who will give you the strength when you feel too weak and you just seem like you're too tired to go on. It is He who will rise up that righteous indignation in you to continue to fight, to continue to run the race and change the future for generations of children yet to come. We lost our children, but we refuse to let children continue to be lost in this country. So stay strong, mothers. Stay strong. I know that there are countless who, like myself, continue to lift you up in prayer. You are our sheroes. We continue to speak your name before the throne of God. Finally, know that your children, they sit in the grandstands of heaven, smiling, and are proud of you, and say to one another, look, there's my mother. I'm so proud of her. We're all so proud of her. So stay strong, mothers. You're amazing. We love you.
The Justice in Policing Act is the first ever bold, comprehensive approach to holding police accountable and changing the culture of law enforcement, and help us work collaboratively to build trust between law enforcement and our communities, especially communities of color. For over 100 years, black communities in America have marched against police abuse and have called for the police to serve and protect. Serve and protect African Americans and black families and communities as they do in other communities. The Justice in Policing Act legislation bans chokeholds. The legislation bans no-knock warrants. Breonna Taylor would be alive. The Justice in Policing Act requires and encourages the use of body cameras. It establishes a national police misconduct registry. It amends the criminal statute from willfulness to recklessness standard. It reforms the judicial doctrine of qualified immunity. Never again should the world be subjected to witnessing what happened to George Floyd in Minnesota. The world should not be subject to see what happened to Breonna Taylor in Louisville, what happened to Freddie Gray in Baltimore, what happened to Sandra Bland in Texas, what happened to Eric Gardner in New York, and what happened to other brothers and sisters killed unjustifiably by the police. Millions of Americans are calling out for change, and the change is legislation. The Justice in Policing Act promotes the highest training and hiring and de-escalation strategies to address the core issue of systemic racism and bias. We want to change the culture in law enforcement. And if we change the culture, we'll ultimately save lives. Today, we are releasing the first ever digital memorial to mothers across the country who have lost loved ones to unjustified police violence. We will each week, beginning on October 23rd through Mother's Day 2021, we will be publishing a story on a mother who's lost a loved one to police violence. We want to show these stories and these human truths as we work to advance new police reform legislation, to advance social justice and end police brutality in America.
But now I see 'twas great that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. Oh,
we are asking you to walk with us, stand with us, support our mothers. The Truth, Hope, and Justice Initiative, our objective is to advance civil rights in America. Our call to action is to support the Justice in Policing Act. It's important that we all vote. This election will have major implications on social justice in America. And with that, rise up and stand, support our mothers, and I turn it over to my friend, Macy Gray.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. It was an amazing night to spend with you. To all the families, my heart goes out to you. We love you, we support you. We can do so much, we can change so much. Get involved, donate at truthhopejustice.org. And My Good is having a huge after party tomorrow night. We're having a Halloween bingo party. hopefully put a smile on everybody's face. We're gonna play bingo. We're gonna win prizes. You can dress up and win the costume contest. We got live performances. We got a couple surprise guests. And I want to invite you all for the after party. Speaking of after party, a good friend of mine plays the best music ever when she DJs. And she's here to, now that we've all, spent some time together, we may as well start dancing together. So this is a buddy of mine. She's an awesome person. She's a legend. Her name is MC Light. And she's here to play some awesome music for you. See you tomorrow night at the bingo party.
Down a couple things about things we see every day. Now, I want you to stop whatever you're doing. Just stop. I'm gonna rap to you. They say there's beauty in the eyes of the beholder, Which I say is a natural fact. Because you are as beautiful as your thoughts, right on? Like with us, for instance, like we've studied all kind of sciences and strategy and mysticism and world religion and so forth. You dig? And like coming from a hip place, all of these things help because they give you an insight to your inner self. Have mercy. Now, there's an outer self we gotta deal with. The one that like to go to parties, the one that like to dress up and be cool, look pretty, on ego trips and all this. So like, hey y'all, I'm trying to tell you, you gotta love you. You gotta learn all the beautiful things around you, trees and birds. And if there ain't no beauty, you gotta make some beauty. Have mercy, listen to me, y'all. Feel it. Talking about beauty.
sometimes I feel that we try and make each other sad. I don't know why. Things we do, how we make each other feel so bad. We've got so much, we could all be having so much fun. Oh, we are something very starting. Deep down in your heart, we love, and that's the way it is.
This goes out to all of the moms who have experienced a loss. This was a great program, truthhopejustice.org. I just want to say my heart is with you, and I have been brought on tonight to bring some cheer and some lightness of the heart. So I hope you're able to enjoy this.
Now, directly from the planet of Brooklyn, MC Light as a rock.
I wanna dance tonight. I wanna toast tonight. I'll spend my money tonight. I'll spend my money tonight. I wanna dance tonight. I wanna toast tonight. I'll spend my money tonight.
Thank you, Macy Gray.
First thing we need to do is buy brand new fits for you. Make sure that you look good. Make sure that I smell good. Let's purchase 2 new Bentleys. I know that it looks trendy. So glad that it's not windy. Here comes that girl named Donnie. Ask if she wants to go. Tonight's gonna be hot for sure. Big dancing on the floor. Folks tripping, I don't know. Money flying everywhere. Champagne, we won't go there. Bottles popping in the air. They'll be screaming, I don't care. I'll spend my money tonight. I'll spend my money tonight. I wanna dance tonight. I wanna toast tonight. I'll spend my money tonight. I wanna get freaking tonight.
Truth, hope, and justice. Here we go.
Having the moment when you were revealed, 'cause you were a dream that just should not have been a fantasy real.
Sing along, here we go.
It's beating, baby. This rhythm inside, you made me feel good and feel nice and feel love. Gave me paradise. So shouldn't I realize you're the highest of the high?
All right, just sit still. Here we go. Come on now.
I'm glad it's over. I need to get away. Go home and throw my clothes on. Come get you.
Now you can move.
Can't wait to see you looking lovely. I hope you're thinking of me. 'Cause all I want is time with you and don't need nothing more. So long, you so long, you so long, you so long, so long, you so long, you so long, you so long, so long, you so long, you so long, you so long, so long, I see you
You too. You're so damn good to me, and everything you do. Ladies, sing it now. Oh, I'm so in love with you. I'm so in love. Oh, baby, I'm so. Listen, I'm so in love with you that I can't help myself. As long as it's me and you, we don't need nothing else. I got you. I got you. Yeah. Oh, that makes it last forever. I'm so in love. Oh yeah. First thing in the morning. Yeah. That's that grown folk stuff right there. Open my eyes and see you. I feel like a breath of fresh air. Taking y'all back in the name of truth, hope, and justice. But I need y'all to sing along. UNITY, though we're far away. Nothing as a summer day. My steady amor, distant as the Milky Way. My steady amor, pretty little one that I adore. You're the only girl my heart beats for. I wish you were mine. In the cafe, or sometimes on a quiet street, I've been near you, but you never noticed me. My steady over, won't you tell me how could you ignore that behind that little smile I wore? I wish that you were mine. La 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 time to lift your spirits up. Here we go. Mary always does it. Sing along. You know if the time is right, I don't wanna fuss and fight. I just wanna let you know I'm feeling good tonight. I want you to take my hand and promise you'll be cool, because I know you like the way that I move. Oh boy, you bring me joy. Some try to play me, but they can't fake me. Oh boy, you got it going on, and you make me happy, so very happy. I don't know, what I'm gonna do.
light hurts my eye. And something without one to love bears heavy on my mind. Then I look at you.
Look at you, come on. And the world's
alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely day. When the day that lies ahead seems impossible to face, when someone else instead of me always seems to know the way, then I look at you, and the world's alright with me. Just one look at you, and I know it's gonna be a lovely
sleepless night. Yeah, her voice shake my window, sweet seducing sighs. Get me out into the night for what's for me tonight. If this town is just an apple,
help me sing it.
Let me take a bite. If they say why? Why?
There seems to be some insecurity about the way I feel, where I wanna be. But you know what's with you? No one can do the things you do to me. Never to be mistaken, long as this love we're making. There's gonna be some rain, gonna be some pain, but as long as I know, good time will show, our love will grow, and I know love will be right here, be right here, right here, be right here. No fear, have no fear, no tears.
I'm taking my freedom, pulling it off the shelf, putting it on my chain, wearing it around my neck. I'm taking my freedom, putting it in my car, wherever I choose to go, it won't take me far. I'm living my life like it's golden, 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 golden, living my life like it's 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 golden. I cannot find somebody else when I know that you're doing wrong. It's so hard to let go. I done went through just about to bad situation, baby. And you're looking at me like you ain't the issue, baby. And though I tried to leave, I can't stop this here, baby. And I thinking you gon' get you some, smelling like some fragrance that I don't even wear. So if you want some loving, I suggest you go back there. You can't find day to day with you, it's always something else. Working my nerve, God knows that I don't deserve what you put me through, cause I've been so true to you.
Truth, hope, and justice.
Me with another lame excuse. See, I heard it all before. All of your lies, all of your sweet talk. Baby this, baby that. But your love ain't working now. Look who's hurting now. I haven't shut you down. I haven't shut you down.
Yes, baby.
Funky.
Now we're raising money here. TruthHopeJustice.org. Now, of course, we're looking to have a good time, but we're about making that paper for things that we need to do as an organization. Ain't that right? Yeah.
We were on a dance floor, shaking our thing to a funky beat with a go-go swing. Hero was watching, they getting shot. Amazed at how far and depth was rock. In the place with a smile on our face, some got upset and did try to play. Sick for the next, he said we just heard. We were free, he was nervy. Pepper got pissed and pulled out a pump. I was all set not to jump, but to jump. Then broke it up and asked not to break. Said they don't understand the way you don't find.
I can't tell you how to catch a groove. It's your kind of thing. What you wanna do? I won't tell you what's I can do.
You make me happy if you can bear. You stay right beside me, yeah, and I won't forget. And I really love you. You should know. I wanna make sure I'm right before I let go. Now we had a good time that we can say we hurt each other, yeah. And boy, it's the same. I won't be foolish, no. I wanna make sure I'm right, boy, before I let go. You know I thank God sun rises and shines on you. You know there's nothing I would not do.
Drop top Porsche, rolling on my wrist, diamonds up and down my chain. Cardi B straight stunning, can't tell me nothing. Bossed up and not change the game. It's my big bronze buggy, got all them girls shook. My big fat, got all them boys cooked. We're from dollar bills, and I be popping rubber bands. You know, sense to me while I do my money dance like, hey. Flexing on the ground like, hey. Is that Lil Jon? Okay. Oh, yo, we dripping the finesse and getting paid.
Ooh, don't we look good together? There's a reason why they watch all night long. Yeah, I know we'll turn hands forever. So tonight I'm gonna show you off. When I'm walking with you, I watch the whole room shake. And that's what you do. No, I blame it on me. Blame it on the confidence. I'm blaming on your measurements. Should you get no sight? That's right. Out here tripping finesse. It don't make no sense. Out here tripping finesse. You know that you know. Out here tripping finesse. It don't make baby, please. When I get you home tonight, and it's gonna be alright. Just you and I, and let's make eyes. Hey girl, I in a romantic mood, feeling good. Won't you thrill me tonight? Sing along with me, thrill me, baby. It's a tender, I can feel it when you walk, even when you talk. It takes over me. Yes, a tender. I wanna know, can you feel it too? Just like I do. This stuff is starting now. It's the same feeling I always seem to get about you. There's no mistaking, I'm clearly taken by the simple mere thought of you. This stuff is starting now. This stuff is starting now. This stuff is starting now. Woo! My eyes roll in my head. I toss and turn in my bed. In the morning when I think about you. Yes, I do. Simply put, you're the reason why. Even though I'm real shy, I have to look my best for you. Indeed, I do. Cause you affect me, fast and like me. I thank heaven for the things that feels like you. You so sweet, sweet, taking my appetite, but it's alright.
Shaking that thing like you never did see. Nice package, alright. Cause I'm gonna have to ride it till the night. Come on, girls at the party, look at that body. Shaking that thing like you never did see. Got a nice package, alright. Edit.
Truth, hope, and justice.
Approach me, throw me a line. But that's something inside you grabs your sense of mine. I know exactly cause it happened, but don't look out. So you so what you gonna do? Come on and touch me. Promise you won't even ever let do. Unless you sit right next to me. Don't join us with these devils. That ain't the way to be. Yes, it's smooth, yes, I'm in the mood. It's invitations, you're I bet you hadn't known it. Why don't you say so? Didn't even know it. No punches not to roll it. You got to keep me focused. You wanna say so? It's been a long time since you really love. Can we come and let yourself? Do we really beat yourself? Tell me what must I do? Damn my love. Cause I could leave with everything. I wouldn't come and won't stop cheesing. And we can dance all day around it. If you find it, I'll be bouncing. If you want it, screaming, shout it, babe.
Another one, another one, another one. DJ shining, yeah. All of this winning, I've been losing my mind. Hold on, don't try to do me. Hold on, don't try to slow me down. Ooh, and I don't make a fool for it. You gon' need an address when I lose the boy. Ratchet, you a tool, the boy. Say I'm tripping, daddy, say I'm tripping. Not talking dirty, but my lips so clean. I'ma burn like a bubble car sticker. Better make it smile when you see that big pull up. Money don't make me happy, and a fella can't make me fancy. We smiling for a whole nother reason. It's all smiles through our 4 seasons. Shining, yeah. All of this winning, I've been losing my mind. Hold on, don't try to do me. Hold on, don't try to slow me down.
Grown folks. This grown folks music right here now. Let me see what you know, ladies.
Now that we found love, what are we gonna do with it? Make that it shook, 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 shook. All over the place I say, come on baby, when the music's playing, I wanna see you dance, dance, dance. Come on baby, say when the music's playing, I wanna see you dance. Get up and dance, ooh yeah, ooh yeah. Come on, baby, let me show you what a man can do. I said music, oh yeah, soul into my soul. What are we gonna do? Tell me, what are we gonna do with love? Let me find out. What are we gonna do? When I saw her walking down the street, she looked so fine, I just had to speak. I asked her name, but she turned away as she walked. All that I could say was, yeah, 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 yeah. All that I could say was, that might be a brighter star, but through my eyes, the light of you is all I see. For you, that might be another song, but all my heart can hear is your melody. So long ago, my heart without demanding informed me that no other love could do. But
Thank you very much. Please donate. truthhopejustice.org. MC Light, I'm out. Much love.